In the mundane chaos of a bustling supermarket on a chilly November afternoon, a quiet veteran stood, his trembling hands counting coins for a simple loaf of bread. Yet, beneath the surface of this everyday moment, lay a profound secret. No one in that impatient queue truly understood the man, Walter Hayes. They were oblivious to his past struggles, the immense sacrifices he'd made, or the profound loss inflicted by a man powerful enough to distort history itself. And not a single soul among them could have foreseen the extraordinary turn of events about to unfold. The Greenfield Supermar, located on Elm Avenue, projected a welcoming facade with its wide glass doors and cheerful, hand-painted signs. However, on this specific Thursday afternoon in late November, with the sky a dull pewter gray, the store transformed into a high-pressure environment. Every checkout lane was active, each with a growing line of weary individuals, all rushing home from work. Amidst this hubbub, Walter Hayes, 73 years old, stood patiently at Register 7. His once broad frame had softened with age, yet his slightly stooped shoulders still carried an undeniable dignity. His large, deliberate hands, marked by old scars from hard labor, carefully rested on the conveyor belt. He wore a navy jacket with a small American flag pin and a faded olive green cap, proudly proclaiming U.S. Army veteran. His 6 modest items, bread, eggs, milk, soup, oatmeal, and butter, were meticulously arranged on the belt. The register beeped, displaying a total of $16.26. Walter paused, then reached into his pocket for a soft, worn cloth pouch. He carefully spread the pouch flat, revealing a scattering of coins. With gentle precision, he began counting them, his lips moving silently. Behind him, a line of 7 people waited. The first, a young mother, checked her phone, her patience already beginning to wear thin. The woman with the toddler in her cart, who was in her late 30s, repeatedly checked her phone, then directed a look at Walter that conveyed nascent irritation. Next in line stood a man in a business suit, his tie loosened, holding 2 wine bottles and a frozen dinner. He let out a slow, controlled exhale through his nose, a clear, unspoken declaration of his annoyance. Further back, 2 young women in athletic wear whispered to each other, both casting glances at other open checkout lanes. They were visibly contemplating whether switching lines would be worth the effort. At Register 7, Emily Hartwell, a 22-year-old cashier with a year of experience at Greenfield, observed the scene. She was efficient and kind, especially with regulars and coupons. However, Emily found herself grappling with the familiar unease that moments like these brought, unsure how to intervene without making the situation more awkward for Walter. She watched him count, her expression a mix of concern and helplessness. The total was $16.26, and Emily could tell Walter was slowly but surely gathering the correct amount. She remained silent, simply waiting for him to finish. The mother with the toddler shifted her weight impatiently, and her son rattled the cart's railing, prompting a distracted pat from his mother. The tension in the line was palpable. "Excuse me," the suited man interjected, his comment directed at the general situation rather than anyone specific. "Is there another register open?" Emily calmly replied, "All lanes are open, sir." The man responded with a sound that was a mix of a sigh and a word, while Walter remained focused on his coins. Walter meticulously placed a quarter, then a dime, then 2 nickels onto his pile. He had calculated the cost beforehand, but now realized he was slightly short, having overestimated his coin stash. He accepted this small miscalculation with quiet resignation, a man accustomed to minor setbacks, and continued sorting through his remaining change. Behind him, the whispers grew louder. "Why doesn't he just use a card?" one of the athletic women murmured, not quite discreetly. The suited man added, "Some people," letting the unfinished thought hang heavily in the air. The woman with the toddler pulled out her phone again, and Walter distinctly heard a faint click, the sound of a camera shutter. A knot tightened in his chest, an ancient, profound discomfort. It wasn't exactly shame, but something far deeper, a burden he had carried for so long it felt new again. He straightened his back slightly, resolute not to rush or apologize. Emily leaned forward, her voice genuinely gentle, and offered, "Sir, I could cover the difference. It's really not a big deal." Walter, calm and measured, replied, "I'll manage. It's only a couple of dollars." I said, "I'll manage." Walter, with a voice that had weathered much, simply thanked Emily, reaffirming his ability to handle the situation. He calmly stated, "I'll manage. It's only a couple of dollars." I said, "I'll manage." His words carried no trace of anger, instead presenting an undeniable fact, causing Emily to nod and step back as the line behind him swelled to 9 people. A hushed chuckle rippled through the back of the line following a remark about self-checkout, and Walter clearly heard the telltale sound of a phone being adjusted to film him. Just then, the store manager, Gary Stokes, a 46-year-old veteran of retail management, arrived, exuding a professional patience that thinly veiled his inner exasperation. He approached Register 7 with a deliberate, calm stride, his politeness strained as he asked Walter, "Good afternoon. Is everything all right here?" "Fine," Walter replied, his gaze still fixed downwards. Gary then proposed, "I just want to make sure if there's an issue with the transaction, we can step aside to the customer service desk and work it out there." Walter's hand froze above his coins. He then slowly met Gary Stokes' gaze with eyes that were dark, steady, and held an ancient wisdom born from indelible experiences. "I'm counting," Walter declared. Gary, straining to keep his smile, responded, "Of course, it's just there are other customers." Walter shot back, "I know. I can hear them," and returned to his coins. Gary paused, mentally reassessing, then shifted slightly to the side, maintaining his presence without appearing intrusive. Walter finished counting, realizing he was short by more than $1, failing to reach the $16.26 total. Walter gently set his coin pouch aside, his gaze falling upon the 6 carefully chosen items on the conveyor belt. With practiced economy of motion, he began to remove them: the oatmeal, the can of soup, and the butter. Each item was set aside with a profound